Okay, welcome back people. We're now at Peenemunde, very famous place for the testing of the V2, V1 rockets. I think it was a Luftwaffe base in the war, but obviously this is miles in the middle of nowhere. So we'll have a look round. I can go in the museum. Apparently in the woods is where you want to go, but I don't really know where to go. I passed it further out. I passed an old building that's been bulldozed over. That must have been the Guardhouse. But yeah, we'll have a look around here, see what we can find.
Peenemunde was the main German research and testing facility for rockets and missiles, including the V2 during World War II. Located on Usedom Island in northeastern Germany, it was established in 1937 and operated until the end of the war. The facility was a key part of the German V-weapon program, which aimed to develop and deploy long-range rockets against Allied targets. The V2 rocket also became the first artificial object to travel into space by crossing the Kármán line edge of space with the vertical launch on the 20th of June 1944. V2 Vengeance weapon. Research of military use of long-range rockets began when the graduate studies of Wernher von Braun were noticed by the German army. A series of prototypes culminated in the F4, which went to war as the V2. Beginning in September 1944, more than 3,000 V2s were launched by the Wehrmacht against Allied targets, first London and later Antwerp and Liège. According to a 2011 BBC documentary, the attacks from V2s resulted in the deaths of an estimated 9,000 civilians and military personnel, while a further 12,000 labourers and concentration camp prisoners died as a result of their forced participation in the production of the weapons. The rockets travelled at supersonic speeds, impacted without audible warning, and proved unstoppable. No effective defense existed. Teams from the Allied forces, the United States, the United Kingdom, France and the Soviet Union raced to seize major German manufacturing facilities, procure the Germans' missile technology, and capture the V2 launching sites. Von Braun and more than 100 core V2 personnel surrendered to the Americans, and many of the original V2 team transferred their work to the Redstone Arsenal, where they were relocated as part of Operation Paperclip. The US also captured enough V2 hardware to build approximately 80 of the missiles. The Soviets gained possession of the V2 manufacturing facilities after the war, re-established V2 production, and moved it to the Soviet Union. V1 Vengeance weapon. The V-1 flying bomb was an early cruise missile. It was also known to the Allies as the Buzz Bomb or Doodlebug. The Wehrmacht first launched the V-1s against London on the 13th of June 1944, 1 week after, and prompted by Operation Overlord, the Allied landings in France. At times more than 100 V-1s a day were fired at southeast England, 9,521 in total, decreasing in number as sites were overrun until October 1944, when the last V-1 site in range of Britain was overrun by Allied forces. After this, the Germans directed V-1 at the port of Antwerp and at other targets in Belgium, launching another 2,448 V-1s. The attack stopped only a month before the war in Europe ended, when the last launch site in the Low Countries was overrun on the 29th of March 1945. The Peenemunde Army Research Centre Railway. The railway system at Peenemünde during World War II was crucial for transporting materials and personnel, particularly for the V-1 and V-2 rocket development and production. It included a standard gauge line connected to the main rail network and a narrow gauge line for transporting goods and personnel within the facility. The railway played a vital role in supporting the rocket program, including the launch of the V-2 rocket. Electrical operation of the industrial railway was commissioned on the 15th of April 1943. The train station Work Ost was used by employees of the development department and by residents of the residential areas across the road. It was made from prefabricated concrete parts and has a size 181 meters long, 95 centimeters high, similar to the suburban railway in Berlin or Hamburg. Peenemunde Power Station. The Peenemunde Power Station was a pivotal part of the Peenemunde Army Research Centre, a key site for Nazi Germany's rocket development during World War II. Built using forced labour, the power plant was designed to provide electricity for the extensive research and production facilities, including the V-1 and V-2 rocket programs. It continued to operate as a thermal power resource for electricity and heat generation even after the war, until 1990.
In place. Yeah, just imagine this is where ballistic missiles were invented. And obviously the American space race started here. If it weren't for the work done here, they wouldn't have gone to the moon. Or did they go to the moon?
The power station was built under the project name KWP 327 on behalf of the Army Administration by the Power Plant Construction Department of Siemens Schuckert, a G which supplied the entire technical equipment near the previously expanded Peenemunde main harbour. Construction officially began on December 6, 1939, but in practice work only started after the end of the frost period in spring 1940. Originally, 2 identical power plants with a total output of 55 megawatts each were planned, but only one of them was built. Due to its proximity to the Peene River, an efficient coal supply could be achieved directly from the ships moored in the harbour. The coaling plant included a 200-metre-long crane runway built by man as a riveted steel construction, below which was the crusher house for crushing the coal. From the crusher house, the coal was transported by conveyor belts in an inclined elevator to the coal bunkers. just outside the rocket testing and production site in Peenemunde, the Germans established in June 1943 two labour camps, Karlshagen 1 and 2. The first was located near the production plant and the second in the nearby town of Karlshagen. The first prisoners came from Buchenwald, and the prisoners were used to carry out excavation work on the airfield site, clean drain ditches, refuel aircraft and uncover unexploded bombs from air raids. When testing V1 bombs, the prisoners had to retrieve the 150-kilogram firing bolts of the launch pad from the swampy reed bed. Many prisoners lost their lives as a result of hard physical labor, insufficient nutrition, diseases, and the often inhumane treatment. The camps were subordinated to Ravensbrück and evacuated in early 1945.
Okay, this is the site of a concentration camp. So the prisoners here would have been used in Peenemunde for testing purposes. Oh my god, look. There's a picture. This is more like it, getting in the woods. Look at this. Building here. I wonder what that was. It's well camouflaged. I wonder what all these metal things are. What's this? Right, let's move on. So, this was a concentration camp. Bunker. Or pillbox. Part of the fence line. Excuse me. You think someone's been using this as target practice? Ah, is this That's where one of the buildings that housed the prisoners was. Do you call them prisoners or the forced labourers? Yeah, I reckon it was. This is one of the barracks. Ugh, it's a bit. Good job I got me bloody walking shoes on. It's a bit boggy. Yeah, it is. That's the foundations. So just notice this. We've got a railway line here. I'm just going to go and try and find where the V2 stand was. You are allowed to drive down this road. Yeah, so here's this railway line again. And we split off here. There's definitely stuff in there. I think on the board it said there was 12,000 people worked here. There's an old fence. That bears off to the right. That goes back towards the airport. I don't think the airport's used anymore. So that railway line we were just looking at, that comes out here. This is obviously a station. So there's obviously stuff behind there. Basically had a railway system that took people around, I suppose dropped them off at different places around the test facility. Someone's ripped the fence down there. This site was massive.
The main guardhouse was located here at the entrance of the Army Research Centre Peenemunde East and of the Testing Centre Air Force Peenemunde West. The main guardhouse consisted of the guard building with rooms for the guards and a post office. A garage area also belonged to the complex.
Absolutely amazing. So that was the guardhouse. Now, if anyone's any ideas what this is, please leave a comment. Is it something to do with the electric transformer? There's absolutely rubbish. Not rubbish, but masonry brick everywhere. So this was obviously a road somewhere. I'd like to get to the test stand, but I don't think you can get to it. Look, there's something else here. So I think this was the army test area. Look at that, look. What is it? More buildings here. There's something up here, but I don't know what it is yet. Yeah, look, something here. Or was that just a wall? What on earth is this? This ain't Second World War, this is modern. Oh, it might be, I don't know. Look at this. See, is that the original fence line? So that just looks more modern to me. Ah, what's this? A retaining wall there. Is that one of the test sites? Don't know. I'll stop in a minute, battery's getting flat. I'll go back to the car, I think, get another battery. I'll have a look down here, back to the car, another battery, then come on out again. Yeah, this all looks modern. There's foundations there. There's stuff all down there. Right, I've got 90% battery, so look at this. What do we have here? Second World War. I just don't know. What is that? See, I think this is all modern. Because I think the Russians were here. It's an air raid shower. There's a fence line there. Oh my god, this is like an area of DayZ, the game. I reckon this is modern. If I keep walking this way, I'm going to end up on the airfield. I don't want to get caught. Look at that down here. Oh, if you could get into one of them. Doesn't that look like a bit of row? Wonder what that was for. Oh, what's that in there? Oh, I'm gonna be here forever. That looks like another platform. Something collapsed over there. I have no idea what I'm looking at. Like, what is this? So I wonder what was here. Got any ideas? Leave a comment. So I ain't got a clue. Try and find out, but that's like a bomb crater, that does. Right, I'm going to go out, so I'll be here all day. I've got to try and find a campsite. Right, turning around, right. Different camera. Right, battery's nearly fat. I just had to walk around these woods. There's loads here. But I've got no idea what any of it is. Some of it might be modern. But there's all stuff along here. Just there. But yeah, thanks for watching. This is just a little bit on the end of the Peenemunde power station. I'll keep looking at the floor, looking where I'm going. But amazing place. If you get the chance, come. It's a bit far, but it is well worth it. Just for the history. So I'm going to say goodbye. I've got to find somewhere to sleep. So I'll see you again soon. Probably the next place is going to be the Wolf's Lair in Poland. I'll do that, and then I'm going to head back towards Germany, Silo, do the last defensive line on the Eastern Front before Berlin, and then back to England, I suppose. I quite enjoyed this. But yeah, I wonder what was here, because let me just show you. I'm not going to stop, am I? You've got some kind of building there, and you've got concrete. I wonder what it was. Who knows? Shame we can't go back in time and have a quick glimpse. Be right in the centre of it. Okay, right, that is it. Right, tatty buys for now. But I was just leaving. I saw something else in the woods, so I'm just parked up. I'm just going to go back and have a look. I don't know what it was. It looks strange. It is. That's a bomb shower, isn't it? That's an air raid shower, surely. Oh fuck. Full of water, isn't it? Holy shit. What is that? What the fuck is this place? No idea. This place is full of stuff. This is amazing. You'd need a week to investigate it all. So that went back along there, down to there.